Now, a young American filmmaker is travelling across the country to capture the memories of the dwindling band of veterans who fought in the Second World War.
Yes, with numbers dropping year by year, Rishi Sharma from California has set himself the task of recording interviews with as many of them as possible.
Among those he's interviewed is 99-year-old Ken Mason. Before heading to the UK, he carried out interviews with more than 900 veterans in the United States and Canada. Len Mann is another who still has vivid memories of some of the dramatic events of the conflict.
We got ready to attack Breville, and my company commander, Major Banfield, came along and said, "This will be our finest hour." And he dropped down dead in front of me. He got hit in the left temple and killed instantly.
Well, Rishi joins us now, as you can see. Thank you very much indeed for coming in. A really powerful memory that we saw there. Is that what you've been finding with the veterans that you've been interviewing, that they are happy to actually open up to you all this time later?
At this point in their lives, they're all the World War II combat veterans are 92 and older, and it's been 75 years since the war. And since the beginning of the war, and I think at this point in their lives, a lot of the veterans have mellowed out to the point that they are more open about their experiences and willing to share it because they're grandparents and great-grandparents now, and they realize the importance of saving their memories for their future generations. I'm the same age the veterans were when they were in combat, so that's a common bond we have. I do a lot of research before each interview, so I know what to talk about. And the most important thing, I would argue, is that I'm not related to any of these heroes. So they're able to talk to me like I'm just one of the guys and open up.
So they're telling you your stories, but what's the emotion you're getting behind those stories? Forgiveness now? Anger still?
I think at this point in their lives, the World War II veterans, they just don't want people to forget. I mean, in World War II, 70 million people were killed worldwide. And that was just 75 years ago, which is such a short span, and the time span of humanity. And what's really humbling to think about or sobering is that in the UK about 400,000 men were killed in the war, and same thing in the US. But each one of those men, they had a mom and a dad and a pet dog named Spot, they had a girlfriend, they cheated on some math test, they had this whole personality, right? And it was just taken. You know, when we look at such a big number like 400,000 or 70 million, it's easy to lose sight that these are real people, as real as you and I.
You talked about your age earlier on in the interview. You're 20 years old. You also have a huge knowledge of what you're talking about as well. But you're very many generations effectively detached from the Second World War. Why did you want to get involved in this then? You
know, I've just always been interested in World War II. And I've thought about that question recently. And I think what really attracts me to the World War II generation is that every single day of their lives has been about other people. They've never had a day to themselves. Whether it's growing up in the Great Depression, quitting school at a young age to put food on the table for their family, or joining the service after their country declares war on Germany like Great Britain, or when their country was attacked like the US from Japan. You know, they were changing their birth certificates or lying about their age just to put themselves in a position where they could get killed. It's not like they wanted to get killed, but they were willing to, and many of them did, unfortunately.
So you're gathering these incredible stories from all around the world, actually. But what are you going to do with these stories?
So all the interviews are filmed interviews. What I do is I meet the World War II veteran, I film interview him, talking about his experiences growing up and throughout the war. And then I put it on a DVD and I mail it to the veteran for him and his family. There's no money involved, it's just, for them. If the veterans are willing to, I will share their interviews online as well. And eventually, they will all be donated to oral history museums back in the US.
It is a brilliant project you're working on. Have you got enough? I think you've done 900 so far. Do you want any more?
I'm always looking for World War II combat veterans. Yes, sir. Right. I'm on a mission to meet and interview 2 to 3 World War II combat veterans every single day until the last one passes away, and I'm committed to that. So as long as there are World War II veterans out there, and if anyone knows any, please do reach out.
Yeah. Committed and passionate. And if you want to get in touch with Rishi, then let us know. There's our email address, anglianews@itv.com. We're also on Facebook and Twitter. Send us your details. We will pass them on.
We certainly will. Rishi, we could speak to you for hours about this. It's a fantastic project you're doing. Well done. And thanks for coming in to tell us about it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.